Look, check this out. I'm gonna make this video out to help some of y'all, right? Listen, when you bring a child into the world, see, look, you have to understand, we live in a broken world. All right, everybody that have children is not going to be married, and everybody that have children, everybody ain't gonna pick a good father for their child, and everybody is not gonna be able to live with their child and raise their child. Now, I'm gonna give you some tips, because 9 times out of 10, it's the women that's raising the kids, right? See, when you put a child side by side, you can see who had a mother and a father in the house, and who only had a mother and who only had a father. Right? Now, I came up with a lot of people that didn't have a father in the house, and you can see how it affected them. Now, if you're raising, first of all, when you have kids, right? The most look, from newborn to 1, it really don't matter. All right. The most critical ages of a child is from 1 to 5. That is pretty much going to shape their toddlerhood, so to speak. All right. Now, if you let I said this before and I'll say it again. If you spoil your kids, you will raise your grandkids. Now, go back to what I was saying. If you don't put any structure and authority in your 1 to 5 year old, you're not going to be able to handle that child when he gets 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, because this child is growing up, and it's gonna get to a point that child can look you eye to eye. All right, so if no, I don't care what nobody say, you cannot raise a child without discipline. At 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, discipline. You have to raise a child with authority and discipline. All right. Now I'm gonna show you what happened when you don't give your child authority and discipline. Let's start off with the females. I have 4 daughters, and I was raised up with 3 sisters. I'm the youngest. I see how all this stuff plays out. If you got a daughter, right, from 0 to 5, if you have a daughter, you need to be in that child's life, because that is a vulnerable child. A girl is a vulnerable child from 0 to 5. They think everybody are their friend. And they just love you to death, right? If dad is not in that child's life from 0 to 5, man, boy, look at that truck. I used to have that exact truck. Man, that's a nice truck. But look, if dad is not there from 0 to 5, nobody to hug them, love them, kiss on them, baby them. If nobody is there, they will look for that attention elsewhere. And not in a sense, well, it's crazy, but when you're that young, 0 to 5, it's not so much as they're going to look for a boyfriend with that attention. No. Like, for instance, let's just say, and this don't have nothing to do with religion. Let's just say you go to Walmart every Tuesday, and the guy that greets you when you come in Walmart always say, hey, how you doing? How was school? Blah, blah, blah. If that little girl don't have no other man in her life, every time she go to Walmart, she's going to be looking to see that guy. Hey, I made 100 on my spelling test. She's going to be looking to see him. One day she will learn the guy's name, Mr. Chris. So every time her mother goes to Walmart, she will be looking for Mr. Chris. Deep down inside, she's looking for that male love. She don't understand it. She's still young. Now, from 5 to 12, she's going to be at the mercy of whatever the mother teaches her about life, about men. Right? Now, 13 on up, you're looking for a boyfriend. That's it. You're looking for a boyfriend. You want to be in love because you don't watch so many Disney movies. You want to be in love. You want to get married. But from the ages of 13 to 21, you just really want a boyfriend. All right? 21 to 25, you're looking for somebody to take serious, who you can just be with and depend on them and love them and possibly have a baby with them. 26 on up, you're ready. You want to be married. You want to be married. All of this stems back from 0 to 5, from 5 to 12, because she can get along with just having motherly love, but she need that man to really point her in the right direction. But right now, if a male figure is not in the home, The mother will need to find some kind of role model that her child can look up to, in a sense, outside of her. Typically her brother, her father, which would be her grandfather. She will need that. She will need a male in her life. Now, yes, women raise kids all the time and they turn out fine, but we're talking about the majority here. All right, now, this right here is something I see, and it's real alarming. When it comes down to single women raising boys, you cannot do it. It's not gonna happen. From newborn to one, it don't matter. From 1 to 5, that boy need discipline. From 1 to 5, because if you don't discipline that boy from 1 to 5, 6 to 12, that boy gonna be out of control. You ain't gonna be able to control him. 1 to 5, that boy need discipline. He need discipline. 1 to 5, he need discipline. He need a male in his life. Again, if your son from 1 to 5 don't have a male in his life, you need to sign him up for sports. He need to look up to a coach, a male figure, your brother, your uncle, your cousin. Well, you got to be the right cousin, and your father. If you don't have a brother he can look up to, a cousin he can look up to, a grandfather, he need to be in sports every single year. He need to be in sports, because he gonna grow up with anger, because he really gonna be. He don't understand it, but man, why my daddy ain't here? A lot of young boys go through this from the ages of 0 to from 1 to 5. Now, when he gets 6 to 12, in a sense, he's gonna be looking for that male authority figure to teach him how to be a man, teach him what he need to do, how he need to handle himself. Once that boy make it past 12 and ain't no man been in his life, oh man, hey, it is what it is. I'm about to learn either I'm about to learn what I can learn from my friends, or I'm gonna learn what I can learn from the streets. Mama can't do it at that point, because that boy looking at you in the eye now. You're not gonna be chastising him and telling him what's what. But if you get to a point where your child is 13, 14, 15, and you can't do nothing with them, send them to boot camp. It don't matter what it costs. You need to be in boot camp. You need to be in boot camp from 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Because at that point, if you don't catch it at that point, it's over with. If you don't catch it at that point, it's over with. Then you'll have an unruly teenager, 18, 19. He's stealing, taking your car, going out. 21, he done got a girl pregnant. You got to raise boys different. And I'll be honest, I always wanted girls. I never wanted boys. I didn't. Because you got to raise a boy to be responsible, not be lazy, and prepare him for life. You see, a boy have to understand, nobody's coming to save you. See, your daughters, you hope one day, yeah, you can send them out to college where they can get a good job. But when it boils down to it, if you raise your daughters right, a good man will find your daughter and be like, hey man, look, let me take care of you, have my kids, be my wife. You understand what I'm saying? Somebody raised that child to be that way. If I had a son, you will start working at 5 years old. You will have responsibilities at 5 years old. When you become a teenager, if you want to play sports, that's fine. But if you ain't playing sports, you're going to work. You're going to work, and you're gonna keep my grass cut. You're gonna keep my truck washed. This trash better be taken out, and you're gonna and your grades gonna be on point. You have to raise a son with discipline. Woman cannot do that to a certain extent. There's plenty of women I know, they got 3, 4 boys, 2, 3 boys. You don't realize it, but you will raise these boys to be real feminine. And it boils down to you, to who you decided to lay down and have a child with. Let's be honest, man. Half of y'all knew before y'all got pregnant that this dude wasn't about nothing. I read a post the other day, it said, when the sex so good, you just can't leave. So for 30 minutes of pleasure, you're gonna have 21 years of pain. But say that again. For 30 minutes of pleasure, you're gonna have 21 years of pain. Then you look up, you're raising these young boys, trying to turn them into men, and it's not working, you failing them. Like, really think about what are you putting back into society? Like, really think about that. Like, look at the majority of women today. A lot of them is not married, and a lot of them won't be married. People don't realize this, but today's baby showers is decorated like weddings because the wedding is not coming. So we're going to spend all the money on the baby shower. See, marriage is one of the hardest things you will do. Because, see, marriage take a lot of discipline, commitment, and dying to self. A lot of men in today's generation don't want to make that commitment. And then it goes back to the woman's side. Well, was you raised to be a wife? And then, like I say, a lot of the men are not getting married in today's generation. Then the men that you do have that are willing to get married in this generation goes back to the women. Were you raised to be a wife? Then it falls back to what kind of men you were picking when you were 20, 21, 23, 25. I'm not talking about the minority. I'm talking about the majority. Look, and I'm going to be honest with you. If a man is deciding to get married and have a family, he cannot be a lazy man. He got to get it out of the mud 6 days a week. He got to get it out the mud. Because let's be honest here. The women that actually do want to get married, they want you to be able to handle everything. They want you to be able to handle. I don't want to think about no bills. I don't mind working. If you want me to help you split the bills, that's fine. But I want to be able to go to sleep at night and know my man gonna take care of it. And that man do not mind working 5-6 days a week for a woman he loves, knowing she gonna hold it down, she gonna take care of me, she gonna raise my kids. See, when a man want to marry you, he gonna marry you. Ain't gonna be no beating around the bush, dating for 4-5 years, we moving in together. Because see, when you get something you really, really want, you gonna make sure you don't lose it. You gonna do everything you can to make sure you hold on to it. If that means putting your last name behind her first name, you gonna do that. I don't wanna lose this one. I wanna make this one's for me. But it all goes back to how you was raised. That's what it goes back to. Sit down and look at this generation. Look at this generation. The baby showers are the new weddings. A guy will have 2-3 kids with you, live with you, but he ain't gonna marry you. Why is that? I mean, really look at that. Really look at that. You got women that got kids by one man, 2-3 kids. They're not married, but they living together. Well, man, it's just a piece of paper. Okay, so what you telling your daughters? Look, when y'all get older, y'all ain't got to marry no dude. Just move in with them. It's just a piece of paper. See, I know the value I'm putting in my daughters right now. I know the value I'm putting in them. They still babies, but I know the value I'm putting in them. You choose to run out there, have a baby with a guy that you ain't married to, and you decide to move in with the guy. Don't come crying to me when it ain't working. I don't care if your last name is my last name and I raised you. Man, nah, because I know what I put into you. Listen, it takes 2 people to raise children. It takes 2. Because look, I'm going to say this and I'm going to let y'all go because I have to go punch this clock. If a woman is raising children all by herself, she need money. She's going to have to be working 1 or 2 jobs. Who's raising the kids? The grandmother got the kids. The aunt got the kids. The cousin got the kids. And there go your lack of quality parenting. And these children are growing up. You have to chase the money because you don't have nobody out there chasing the money for you to bring back home to the family. You'll look up. Your kids will be 10, 15 years old, and all you did was work because you want better for your children. You want to live in a better neighborhood. You want to send them to school with nice clothes on, and you want to take your kids to Disney. Every woman want to take their kids to Disney. You want to do all this, so you have to work for it. But not realizing you losing quality time. And you're doing all of this because the sex was so good, I just couldn't leave. That's why I say 30 minutes of pleasure isn't worth 21 years of pain. Because you will look up and say, man, you hear it all the time. You hear it all the time from guys that make it to the league. Oh, single parent household. You know, my mother worked a lot, so she wasn't really there. You hear that all the time. But why have none of this changed? Why have none of this changed? That's the same thing as a single father. You cannot raise You cannot raise a child by yourself. There's no way I can raise 4 daughters by myself. I would have to have stuff in motion to help me raise them 4 daughters. You understand what I'm saying? So you got to be mindful when you run out here and have kids, and you just can't have kids because it was so good I just couldn't leave. You gonna sacrifice 30 minutes of pleasure for 21 years of pain. And look, I'm raising 4 daughters. I'm gonna be telling them all of this when they grow up. That's why I say they run out there and have kids and don't be married, and you just move in with a dude. Man, look here, man, just about cut you off.